Do you want to make a lot of money in this bull market? Good. You're in the right place. In this video, I'm going to address some of the most toxic and stupid information that's going out there right now about diamond hand communities and all that stuff. As well as that, I'm going to show you exactly where the money is flowing right now and 3 projects that really must be getting onto your radar right now, because this is where the next stage of the market will take us, and this is what we need to pay attention to. Hit the like button. Let's get into it. Now, I just want to point out something important, and it's where we are in the cycle right now for you to understand something important. Here is where we roughly are right now. This is Bitcoin back before the last bull market. Once we start getting into these mad big candles, this is no longer the people who are early in the space, the retailers yet, okay? This is actually more the sort of smart money environment. And if you've been investing so far, then feel free to call yourself smart money. But a lot of the kind of like building and stuff that goes on here isn't necessarily built off of the quality of projects or anything like that. A lot of this is basically built off of the hype and communities that can kind of create this idea. You then get the institutions flooding in, and they will tend to flood into particular projects. And it's not necessarily the projects that are able to gain the most hype and attention down here. They will be looking for projects that are actually gaining active users and projects that are actually going to be making more money. Long video yesterday from Alex Becker, a guy who I respect, who's been a very successful entrepreneur over the years, and I talked about him in a video the other day, and he said something very valuable and important in the start of this video. He said 99% of crypto projects are basically Ponzi schemes. They don't really do anything. They're not making any money right now. You're literally buying into the idea that they're going to be making money. But don't worry, soon we will be jumping across to a sector where we will be seeing companies actually making money, and then I'm going to talk about investing in them. Right now, you're positioned perfectly for a bull market. If you've been accumulating recently or over the last year, if we see some downside, fine, but you're in a great position because you are early. But there's some things that have me concerned. This comment was a scary one, and he was basically talking about Casper and how it had a bulletproof diamond hand community, and there's no way to scare the majority of holders. This coin has no downside. And I'm like, hold on a minute. Something there really worried me, and it's this diamond hand concept, this diamond hand bullshit. And I'm like, this is so stupid. This diamond hand concept is one of the most dangerous concepts going around. But remember, what drives this next leg up in the market isn't the hype and excitement behind a coin. The next leg up in the market comes from the institutions, and the institutions want to invest in projects that are actually running with a product that's already making money. So whether you've got like a community of people who are just not willing to sell, that's not really necessarily important. What is important, however, is this. What we're looking for is active wallets. And I don't mean people just buying a coin and holding it, okay? That's obviously good, and that obviously helps increase the price, but it only has a limited upside potential. These are different industries: DeFi, gaming, NFTs, social, and there's obviously going to be other bits and pieces as well. But this is dominance by unique active wallets in dApp ecosystems. What on earth does that mean? Well, it means that within particular sectors, you have active wallets that are either trading or they're participating in pools, they're participating in various different bits and pieces. And most notably here, you can see games, gaming, GameFi has got a hugely active wallet user base. Well, what does that mean for us? We've got 2 sides to this story. When we're looking at projects, lots of projects out there have got like a promise, an idea, a concept that they're working towards. You invest in that project, hoping that that project in the future has these big relationships with different companies, starts to actively get used, etc. Now, what's allowed Ethereum to become the top layer 1 out there is because it's actively used for pretty much everything. A bunch of different coins are built on it. To interact with those different coins, you then have to interact with Ethereum. That's really useful for Ethereum having a massive market cap. So where can we really see this biggest growth? What's actually getting real world value in the tokens? Because that's where the institutional flow of cash is going to come into. And Alex Becker made a very valid point about this, that is gaming and GameFi. And if you subscribe to this channel, which hopefully by now you are, then you'll have seen this plenty of times. But this is the rise of gaming, and you can see that the large portion of gaming and the gaming ecosystem is starting to go into a blockchain gaming environment, a GameFi environment. And in the last bull market, we saw a massive rally straight off the bat in GameFi and gaming, with the likes of Gala Gaming, Sandbox, etc. exploding very, very quickly. Now, where I differ a little bit from Alex Becker, who has an enormous YouTube channel, much bigger than mine, although with your subscription, hopefully you can get me a little bit closer to him. He basically said, go to CoinMarketCap, go to like page 4 or 5 of the GameFi tokens, and then just buy randomly a few different projects, and then they'll go up. And he's probably right because he talked about them on the video and he has such a massive audience that those coins do go up, but not necessarily fundamentally of how good the project is. However, luckily for you, I've got a lot of time on my hands to find you some pretty decent, juicy gaming projects with, of course, small market cap. So we can get hold of ourselves, as Alex Becker likes to point out, some filthy, degenerate degen gains. Now, during the last bull market, we saw a boom in like the move to earn or the watch to earn or whatever it is applications. Steppen saw a huge boom. And if you got into the Steppen early enough, you could have seen some astronomically good gains. Basically, it's paying you to be healthy. And people obviously like this kind of stuff because people obviously want to be healthy anyway. That's why everyone walks around with like Apple Watches, and everyone now has various tracking apps to know how many steps they did on a day or whatever it is. And effectively you can use this to like track your workouts and various other things like that. And that's something I'm interested in because it's clear there's a big shift in like the healthcare kind of industry stuff, and anything kind of moving towards this way is very interesting. Now, basically you can go and earn rewards, and then you can use the rewards to go and support like active lifestyle stuff. And here you can see like the app, you know, this kind of like image. It looks very kind of like cool, trendy, actually really sick website to be honest. And then you can see some of the merchants that they're working with, Adidas, Nike, A6K. This is very interesting because they've already got partnerships with some of the biggest names in sports. I mean, look at this website, guys. This is one of the most interesting and phenomenal websites I've seen in a while. And it's definitely interesting. And you can see it's been around for most of the year and it's that sort of fairly static, but it is starting to pick up more now, which is very interesting. And I do think that once we see maybe a shift and we see more cash flow coming into the markets, then this is potentially where we might want to be looking. Fairly small market cap, around $21.8 million. You'll be aware that the sports industry and things like that worth billions and billions of dollars. People are willing to part with their money to get in shape. And that's why you should probably go and check it out. Now, I admit, guys, that wasn't full like GameFi, hard GameFi stuff, okay? But let's get a little bit more into the GameFi sector because I know people, you know, really focused on that. This is going to be lit, okay? Lit Labs. Lit Labs games generate sustainable environment and new monetization models through lit adoption in all our published games. Basically a AAA game studio. If you don't know what that is, basically AAA, as you would expect, is like the top level of kind of games. Now, traditionally, we had a bit of an issue when it came to like GameFi games, in that they're basically shit. Because loads of games out there, like FIFA or Halo or Call of Duty or whatever, these kind of major games that people have been talking about and playing for years, take years and years to create. They're incredibly expensive to create them as well because you need huge teams to be able to build them. Not only that, you then have the issue of integrating tokenization and blockchain tech into that, and it's an absolute nightmare. I've been told it takes around 6 years to be able to create like a AAA GameFi blockchain-based game, okay? Now you can see they've already released one of their games. They have a bunch of other games and things coming up. They also offer solutions where you can integrate wallets and things like that and work with kind of existing non-blockchain games to integrate them into kind of GameFi spaces. That's something as well that I'm quite bullish on. And you can see they're partnered up with a bunch of big names in the space. And you'd be like, well, I would anticipate them having a huge market cap. But actually, they sit there with a market cap of like $7.2 million. Now, guys, I want to point something out. You can see it's down 20% today, which obviously is sizable. But this is a small cap project. The opportunity in small caps is much bigger, but the risk is also much bigger because there's so much more chance of it going to zero. However, based on where I think we are in the crypto market right now, and the fact that gaming and GameFi has the ability to decouple from the wider crypto market, that means go up exponentially without having too much impact from anything else. Because remember, it's a sector that actually makes money on its own and isn't just relying on the hype of people in the space. It's very interesting. So potentially to see like 10x, 20x in this is more than doable, and it can take place very, very quickly. In the last bull market, we saw Gala basically doing in 10x in like a week, okay? And particularly with these kind of smaller cap coins. But don't bet the farm on them. Do your own research. Don't invest in any of these projects until you understand what they are and you understand the risk. Because here, look, it was down 20% when I started making this video, and now it's down 12%. Look at that. It's literally moved 6% in the last 1 minute that I've been talking about this project. But that's exciting. That's why we're in trading crypto. Degens. Now, before we look at the next one, I want to talk about something else. It's important in crypto that you diversify your portfolio. And particularly if you're looking to take profits, then you shouldn't necessarily just take profits and just wrap them away and throw them into USDT or fiat and go and buy some stupid car or some stupid watch or whatever else. But you should continue to be able to make gains after that. Therefore, you need to go and find a safe and regulated place to be able to do that. And I recommend checking out Soil. Soil is basically backed by real world assets and can offer yields up to 14%. Now, in the last bear market, we saw issues with the likes of Celsius, etc., because they weren't backed by real world assets. So they were offering crazy yields and things like that, but they weren't able to back it up. Soil, however, is different. And effectively how it works is you lend stable coins, which go to Soil protocol, and that provides liquidity to the fiat world. That means the big banks, etc., need liquidity. They can then go and invest in projects. They can go and invest in whatever else outside of crypto. And they then pay back interest on that, which goes back into the Soil protocol and into the crypto investor. This is exactly basically how a bank works. When you put your fiat cash into a bank, they use your money to go and make money in the fiat world. And they're probably making themselves like 20% on your money. But they then go and give you back your interest rate of like, 1% or less, depending on how high the interest rates are at the moment. But that's how you can gain a much bigger percentage. But what I'm more interested in particularly is the actual Soil token itself. And you can go and find out more about the Soil token down below. But it offers yield tokenizations, earning rewards, and various yield boosting, okay? And it's unsurprising after taking a look at the team that this is actually a really smart model. Because what they're encouraging people to do is to basically go and stake their Soil token in order to build their yield up to around 14%. So you can earn 14% on your USDT or whatever, which is pretty crazy. I think you'll agree for a USDT or a stablecoin. And that's what's causing the Soil token to rally like this. It's literally up 146% in the last 7 days. And you can see it's just gaining more and more attention all the time. At the moment, they haven't really reported much about a market cap, and it seems to be gaining a lot of attention. They're working alongside and trusted by some of the biggest names in crypto, such as Polygon, and again, fits in nicely to what I'm talking about. This is a coin that's very early stages, but is already making money. People are already staking USDT and whatever in order to be able to make a yield. They are then able to go away and offer that money up to banks and other institutions, and therefore they're then making an income back, which is only more bullish for the Soil token. I think you'll agree that there's a lot of projects out there in crypto that are actually doing stuff and actually making money, and this is what we want to be looking towards, guys. Don't get too caught up in the hype and stuff behind coins that don't really have much utility yet and don't really make any funds. And ultimately, as just a promise, they are just a Ponzi scheme. At the moment, you can see that Soil is available from Gate.io and MEXC. And if you want to use MEXC, use a link down below. You can go across to MEXC. You'll also get an extra bonus to be able to trade Soil over there. You can see that the trading volume is picking up over on MEXC and Gate, and things are looking quite interesting. Now, guys, last but not least, but a bit of a cracker, GameSwift, empowering the mass adoption of Web3 games. Now, this is something I've talked about quite a lot with people in the crypto space, and where I think we're kind of heading with crypto kind of going forward. There's a few kind of key elements that are really going to drive forward mass adoption. What does mass adoption really mean? I hear you ask. Well, outside of investing and sending crypto to like yourself or changing it into different coins or investing, like how much do you really use those crypto projects, and why do you really need to use any of these projects at all? The answer for most of you watching this will be pretty much a fat zero. Unless you're into gaming or GameFi, those are the only people I've really heard talking about actually doing things where they're actually using cryptocurrency and earning cryptocurrency or whatever else. And everything else is just trading. Everything else is just betting on a price going up or whatever. Now, mass adoption means when everyone starts to use crypto and crypto-based products like payment solutions or whatever, when they don't even know they're doing it. For example, if I want to send money overseas to someone, I have to use Swift. I don't really understand how Swift works, but in the future, if I'm using that payment and it's powered by like XRP, which I know is giving the XRP army a little bit of blood right now, but that's basically how it works, right? When everyone's just using it without even realizing it's crypto, that's when we have mass adoption. Gaming, GameFi, in my opinion, is probably the one that's going to be heading there first, okay? So, mass adoption of Web3 games. How are they planning on doing it? One-stop gaming ecosystem, nice. Platform infrastructure on chain. They're also having a studio where they build games. They have like communities and all that good stuff. Cross-chain interoperability, also very important because a lot of games are built on like one chain or another. Fully carbon neutral. You can see they're hitting all the keywords. Now as well, this is a very big thing because once we start to head into that kind of mass kind of money flowing into the space, that mass money is going to come from institutions. Institutions each year, depending on what country they're in, have quotas for their kind of carbon output and things like that. Now, one way for them to overcome this, if it's hard for them to personally bring down their kind of like carbon neutrality or whatever you would call it, they can actually gain points on this system by investing into projects that are green and carbon neutral. That's very, very important and could have a big impact on the way that some of these coins grow over the next sort of 6 months to a year, because soon we're going to have to need big money to be able to drive up those astronomical gains. Now, GameSwift also built on the ZK EVM ecosystem, and ZK, which has been called by Vitalik to be the holy grail of crypto because it basically solves the blockchain dilemma, is also probably going to see a big push forward, and projects built on this, I think as well, could enjoy that ride. Like we saw Solana booming recently, and Orca and various coins built on Solana having a really good time as well. Now, what's cool is a fully working platform. They've got a bunch of games they're already listing and playing all the time. Now, which is interesting because people have been talking a lot about various different GameFi platforms like Myria and whatever. Myria has like 2 games that like no one seems to be playing, and yet Myria seems to be growing very quickly with a big market cap. It's just already kind of out there in the space and being talked about more. This, however, does appear to be a much stronger project in terms of what actually it offers. And as I look into it, GameSwift, currently market cap $24.5 million, which is again tiny, pretty much. However, currently minuscule circulating supply compared to the total max supply available is clearly starting to gain some traction and attention. And there's a lot of people starting to focus their interest towards GameFi. I know that because these are very small coins. No one's really talking about them. And I know in this video, down below, you'll see in the comments, people will be talking about these coins. People will be like, oh, I bought this coin a while ago, blah, blah, blah. And these are really tiny market cap coins. There's nowhere else in the crypto space that has that much interest in investment in like analysis going on by the crypto community than in GameFi. It's evident in the comments, I'm sure. Let me know down below if you've been investing in any of these projects down below and your thoughts. If you enjoyed today's video, do me a favor, hit that like button. And as well as that, give me a follow over on Twitter, link down below. Because every day we're breaking down lots of different projects from Meld to Polkadot, Fetch AI, ICP, Casper, etc. Hope you enjoyed that video, guys. Smash the like button. See you tomorrow with another video. Bye-bye.